We're going to create a beautiful custom wind spinner today with sublimation.
This is what those sublimation wind spinners look like when they come. You can see they have a plastic film on both sides, and you do have to remove this film before you sublimate.
My sublimation printer is only capable of printing 8.5 inches wide, and I can go up to many lengths in length, but these wind spinners are 10-inch, and I got a case of 25 of them. So we are going to be piecing our images together. I start with my Creative Fabrica All Access account, and then I started looking for backgrounds and images. There are all kinds of wind spinner images that you can get. But like I said, I got a 10-inch wind spinner. So that means I'm going to have to piece my paper because my paper only goes to 8.5, and I will need to make it 10. So you can see that there's all kinds of wind spinner images here, but I actually went with a glitter background, a watercolor background, and this butterfly that I downloaded that we're going to be working with. I use Microsoft Word for my designing. You can use whatever you choose. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to layout, and we are going to go to size, and it's going to be 8.5 by 11 because I have to piece this together. And the orientation, I'm going to use landscape. And for my margins, I've got them custom set to 0. So now we're going to insert our picture, our image. And the first thing I'm going to insert is I decided to go with this gold glitter. We're going to give that a try. So when that comes in Microsoft Word, in order to layer, you need to use the wrap and through feature, which you can also find up here. It says wrap text, and you can hit through here too. So now I can take this and I can stretch it out and make it the size that I want. And you can see up here, it tells you what size it is. So I have to make sure that I'm over 10 inches because we're going to be piecing this together, but we want this to be over 10 inches. So I've got it 8.5 by 10.46. I'll see if I can get that to 4.5, which doesn't to 0.5. It's a little over. That's fine though. So now we're going to insert our next image, and I'm going to use this butterfly and put that in. And again, that comes up at the bottom here. You see how it will not come on the page until you do the wrap and the through, or again, you can do it up here. Now I'm going to shrink that down because I want that to be in my center, which is going to be the center where it's 8.5 by 11. I have to make sure that it's in the center of this gold that's 10.57 because I'm going to piece the gold. It's easier to piece the solid than it is to piece the image. So I'm going to, that looks pretty close to center there. So I'm going to save this. So now we're going to make those two 2-inch pieces that we need. So I'm going to take the butterfly off, and this will be the pieces that we're going to use. We're going to use the top and we're going to use the bottom. So I only need one sheet of this. Here's the image with just the gold glitter. I'm only going to print one of the image with the gold glitter because I only need the top 2 inches and the bottom 2 inches of this print. So I'm going to go to File and Print. And I'm using an Epson EcoTank 2760. So I'm going to go into my printer properties. This printer has been converted over to a sublimation printer by putting sublimation ink into it. And I'm going to make sure that I have premium presentation paper matte selected, quality high, 8.5 by 11 paper. Then I'm going to go to more options, and I'm going to make sure that I have under image options, emphasize more and emphasize thin lines. And then I'm going to make sure that I have high speed off And I'm going to mirror my image. Now, this isn't going to be a big deal on this gold glitter, but if I'm going to be mirroring my image with the butterfly, I better be mirroring this or it might not line up just right. So we're going to hit OK here and print. So now while my first image is printing of just the glitter, I'm going to go in and I'm going to start printing this one. So I'm going to go to File and I'm going to go to Print and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make sure that everything is right under my printer properties, but I am going to have 2 of these because I need 2 of this image, one for the front of the spinner and one for the back. So now I'm going into printer properties and I'm going to make sure it's premium presentation paper matte again, high quality, 8.5 by 11. I'm just double checking to make sure that my mirror is on and that my image options are correct. It's all right. So I'm going to hit OK and I am going to print this. Here's the design after it's printed. And as you can see, it's about 1 inch too small on the top and the bottom. Now you can see where I have cut a piece off of the paper that just has the glitter on it. It doesn't have any of the butterfly, and I added it to the top and the bottom. And then I laid my spinner on there so that you can see that that's just the right size now. And this is the other side, and I just took a closer picture so that you can see my line where I put them together. It's not very noticeable. I'm using the HTV Ront Auto Press for this, so I set it for 385 degrees for 99 seconds. I want to press the front and the back at the same time, and so I put protective paper down. And then I put one of the images down face up, and then I put the wind spinner on top of it. Now I have carefully laid the second image on top of the wind spinner, and I was very careful to line up the butterfly wings so that I have them pretty much in the same place on the front side of the wind spinner as I do on the back side of the wind spinner. Now I did not tape this. You could tape it down to the protective paper, but I did not tape it because I'm just going to do that one press for 99 seconds to see how this turns out. I added protective paper on top of that again, and then I also added a Teflon sheet. Here is after the pressing, and I removed the top sheet, and it looks incredible. Now these are going to be extremely hot, so please wear heat-resistant gloves, protective gloves on your hands. And you can see now I lifted it off of the other paper too, and both sides turned out just perfect. So now I'm going to add the spinner attachment to the top, and then I'm going to add this crystal ball to the bottom, just to give it a little weight. Here you can see that I added the crystal ball to the bottom and the spinner to the top. And then I fanned it out because you need to fan this out so it catches the wind. Here, I've given it a little spin for you. When you fan this out, you're going to press it from the center image to fan it out, and then it will fold flat again for storage. Thank you for watching my video. Items that I've used are linked below, and please subscribe to my channel. I will be having some new videos coming out shortly.